Well, howdy folks, this is Lugnut. Welcome to the first episode of Lugnut's Garage. If you guys saw the video for the making of the diecast car there, you know I kind of discussed that being a possibility, and here we are, episode 1. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm not going to number the episodes because I'll never be able to keep up, but this is my segment where I take over the channel and talk about what I'm doing and what I'm working on. And if you did see that video with the diecast, you know I talked about having some projects that I completed off camera and wanting to talk about those. This will be that video plus a what's next on the bench, because I'm pretty excited about what is going to be the next project, and that one will be filmed in a more traditional video format. So let's go ahead and dive in, and we'll talk about the 3 cars you see behind the diecast here of what I've been working on. And I apologize for the added noise level. I had to turn on the fan and the air conditioning unit in here. I shut it off for a very brief amount of time to make that last video segment, and it was already stuffy in here. So apologize for the buzz in the background, but that is so I don't sweat everything off of me. This was the first car I built after the Dale Earnhardt build, which you guys did see on the channel. I had a lot of fun with that Earnhardt build, and I actually did start filming the build of this car, but I decided partway through it, you know what, I just kind of want to enjoy building for the sake of building. I didn't put the video together and upload it, and I think a lot of that video is gone now, but I started. Funny story with this, we actually filmed the intro for this car's build back in 2021, I think, or maybe 2022, and did a little very tiny amount of work that I had to go back and redo later. I actually painted the chassis for this car flat black, and only later realized it needed to be gray, which is what it is now. But this is Russ Wheeler from the movie Days of Thunder. This is it's a fictional car, but it was run in it wasn't entered, but it was run in the 1990 Daytona 500, so they could get some on-track footage of the car. The suspension was the worst part of building this kit. It didn't go together very well, and as you can see, it's not staying together very well. The right rear seems like it's collapsed, and the front wheels are now trying to fall off as well. It's being a bit of a bear, but it was overall still a pretty fun build. It was kind of a mixture between the Lake Speed car and the Dale Earnhardt car as far as level of complexity. Certain elements of it reminded me of the Lake Speed car, with it being very simple, and then there were certain interior elements that actually reminded me a lot of the much newer Dale Earnhardt kit that I had just finished building when I started building this one. But that finished out my 3 NASCAR kits straight deal, and I have since built, as you saw, 2 regular street cars, which I'm pretty excited to talk about because they're both pretty cool, and one of them's got a really neat story behind it. So let's go ahead and dive into those. So immediately following the Russ Wheeler kit, I got into this AMT 1969 Torino Cobra with the fastback. The Torino is one of my all-time favorite cars. I think they're amazing. They're beautiful cars, and as soon as I saw this kit at the local Hobby Lobby on their 40% off week, I scooped it up immediately, as well as a 68 Olds 442, I believe. I got at the same time, but I wanted to jump right into the Cobra Fastback because of how much I love Torinos. I thought it was a great car to build, and it would look really cool on the shelf. Overall, there were some annoyances with this kit, but it went together surprisingly well, and it looks great on the shelf. I think the biggest annoyance was we tried to cut out the hood for the hood scoop, and for some reason they made the cutout area way bigger than the hood scoop is, so it looked really bad, and Dad had to work on basically fiddling it back together to where it didn't look awful. And that's the only real issue I have with this kit, is there's no feasible way to get the rear bumper to seat on there correctly, but I tried my best. But overall, I thought it was a great build and a great kit, and it looks amazing. I used rattle can duplicolor for the blue, and it turned out fantastic. Got the right amount of metal flake in there to just really pop when the light hits it. And we did the flat black hood, of course, and the pièce de résistance with this car, I'm sure in real life as well, is what's under that hood with the 429 cubic inch, or no, 428, sorry. 428. And my distributor has left the chat apparently, but painted that in Ford blue as it's supposed to be, and then that was a decal right there, obviously on the air cleaner, and I thought that really tied it together. Looked really good. So overall, I was really happy with this build and this kit. A couple things, like I said, were a little annoying. The hood doesn't really open or close very well, but it's all good. It looks fantastic on the shelf like that. And this kit, if you see it in your local Hobby Lobby or other modeling place, it actually comes with all of the parts needed to build the Torino Talladega, and it does not say that anywhere on the box. But as soon as we open it, it has a full roll cage, race wheels, race tires, and the Torino nose, or the Talladega nose rather, that was different than the regular Torino, street Torino. So that's cool. The way it looked like it would be kind of a bear to build it as a Talladega, but it's there. So if one of y'all want to give it a shot, that maybe has a little bit more talent with styrene than I do, go for it. It was a pretty good build, especially as far as like suspension and engine and internals and all that stuff goes. That's going to be the same across both cars. It's fantastic. And finally, we have this AMT kit of the Coca-Cola 1963 Chevy 2 station wagon, which was a very simple build. This is one of the ones that it doesn't have an engine. We glued the hood shut. It doesn't even open. There's no engine at all. The whole bottom side of it is all one molded piece. The axles slide into, and that's it. The most of this was the interior and the decals on the outside, which the paint was the worst part for us for this car. We could not get it to stick right. It fought us tooth and nail the whole way. It ended up bubbling and orange peeling and looking just awful. Took hours of wet sanding and polishing and clear coating and trying again over and over to get it to the point where it is now, which is far from show worthy, but it's at least presentable to look on a shelf. And then some of my decals had a little issue as well, but I did not build this car to be analyzed or scrutinized. I built it for fun, and I built it because my uncle, Jethro's brother, gave me this car due to the fact that I just recently, a little over a month ago, started a job at Coca-Cola. In fact, it's our local bottling company. I started as a distribution driver for them. So when he found out that I got that job for Coke, he bought me this model kit. He saw it online, said this would be cool for him to have. Gave it to me while we were at the race in Daytona, and I went ahead and came home and put it together pretty soon thereafter, because I had just finished up with the Torino about the time he gave me this, and I was wondering what I was going to build next. So that answered that question, and you can see there's even some Coke cases in the back with 24 glass bottles. So it was a neat build. It was a quick build, and it would have been a lot quicker if the paint had worked. But another lesson learned in rattle can painting. Sometimes it turns out great. Sometimes it fights you like crazy. Live and you learn.
And now for the rest of the story.
Or more accurately, the what's next on the bench segment of the video, which I'm not sure if you could possibly guess by the background decorum, but we are going to build that car's companion piece, which is the mellow yellow car from the Days of Thunder movie that Cole Trickle drove in the final race. This is another kit that's identical to that one. It's the monogram Days of Thunder kit that was officially licensed from back in 1990. That one was built directly box stock, exactly as it came. This one's gonna be very, very close, but there is one very key difference, which I'll show you here in a second. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. You know, despite the fact that this thing has been sealed in its plastic up until about a week ago when I first cracked it open, actually it wasn't even a week ago, a few days ago when I first cracked it open, it is in some rough shape. There's a lot of parts that are missing off the tree that you can see are just kind of floating in the bottom of the box, and the hood's all scratched up, the glass is a little messy. There's a nice mold line on the roof that we're gonna have to massage out of there, but it's all right. Nothing more than what I've seen before. You see the front bumper's got it, the rear fender well's got it. There's some damages here and there that are gonna need to be worked on, but the biggest issue with this kit, and I didn't even know it until I had already fixed the problem. I didn't know the problem existed, but the poor old decal sheet, unfortunately, looks bad. It looks worse in person than it does on camera. It's not translating great, but yeah, it's rough. But I had already mitigated that issue before even realizing it was an issue. I took a nice little trip over to Mike's Decals and picked up a very, very nice Power Slide decal set for this car, which I'm really excited to put together. This is my first ever Power Slide decal set that I'm gonna put on a NASCAR kit. This is the second one I've purchased. The other one got put in the shelf. I'm waiting to get better at painting before I use that one, so it's just kind of hiding away for right now, but I wanted to go straight in for this one, and it almost makes me regret not buying one for the Russ Wheeler car, but I'm glad I didn't, simply because I built that car exactly as it was intended to be built when it was made in late 89, early 1990 to promote the film. So I'm okay with that, but I will at some point down the line be building another Russ Wheeler car, hopefully with a little bit brighter orange of a paint and a improved decal set, because as you can see with this one, it leaves a lot to be desired with the contingency sponsors. There's a lack thereof. Not a whole lot of detail as far as the decals go on that, but it gets the point across. It's definitely the Russ Wheeler car, and it's really cool for a thing that came out to promote the movie that it was part of. So worth building it like that for sure, but the Mellow Yellow car is not going to be able to be built with its stock decal set. So we are gonna rock these bad boys, and I am looking forward to it because it has a ton more detail ready for it all. So we're gonna get working on this. You'll see part 1 official of this coming up soon, and I am gonna film this and upload it in a more traditional format. You've seen a lot of my other videos. I do all of it in one shot, and they end up being really long videos. So I'm gonna break this one up and try and do it in a more traditional format and see if I like that, see if y'all like that better. Let me know what you guys think. When I do the Lugnut's Garage thing, it's totally separate from everything that Dad does. So if you guys like longer form videos from me where I can ramble on about all the stuff that I do, let me know, and I'll be glad to go back to the longer form videos. But if you want me to keep it shorter and a little bit more concise, if that's easier for you, I will do my best. But this is what is next on the bench officially, is the Mellow Yellow Lumina from Days of Thunder. So we are gonna slowly start piecing together the rest of these cars. There will hopefully be a buddy build in the future where Dad and I are gonna build a couple of them at a time. But when these two are done, we've got the 246 cars and Rowdy Burns' car left, and that's it. So this has been the first episode of Lugnut's Garage. I have been Lugnut. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is Lugnut. Over and out.